We are diving into a huge shift happening in Japan right now, one that could totally change how we think about work in the 21st century. It's a revolution in the making, and it all boils down to one simple question.
Think about it for a second. Are you paid for the hours you put in, or for what you actually accomplish? It's a question that gets right to the heart of how we value work, and believe me, it is at the center of a massive debate in Japan today. So here's the deal. Japan's population is aging, which means its workforce is shrinking. The country is at a crossroads. Does it stick with the old-school model of time is money, or does it pivot to a future where results are the only thing that matters? The choice they make could honestly send ripples all across the world. Now, this battle between time and results, it isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. Nope, it's playing out in a very real and, let me tell you, very controversial labor system. It's called the discretionary labor system. Let me break it down for you. Imagine your company agrees to pay you for, say, 8 hours a day. If you're a superstar and you get all your work done in 6 hours, great, you still get paid for 8. But if it takes you 10 hours, well, you're still only getting paid for those 8. This system is usually for specialized jobs, like researchers, consultants, programmers, jobs where it's kind of hard to measure output by the minute.
All right, so why are some people so incredibly passionate about expanding this thing? Well, for them, it's all about rocketing Japan's work culture into the modern era.
And this quote really says it all. Proponents see this as a complete paradigm shift. They argue that in fields like tech or creative work, value isn't created by punching a clock, right? It comes from that flash of innovation, that deep thinking, those sudden breakthrough moments. And their arguments, they're pretty convincing. They believe this system gives people real autonomy. It helps attract top talent who are looking for what they call work-life integration, not just balancing work and life, but blending them together. It's also seen as a major key to making Japan more competitive on the world stage. And with the brand new 2024 reforms that add safeguards like worker consent, they say it's safer than it's ever been.
But, and this is a huge but, there is a much, much darker way to look at this system. For its critics, this has nothing to do with flexibility. It is all about exploitation.
And this quote right here, it hits the nail on the head. Opponents argue that this whole thing is just a zero overtime pay system in disguise. It's a clever way for companies to squeeze every last drop of work out of their employees without paying a single extra yen for it.
You see, the fundamental problem, as they see it, is this. You might get to choose when you work, but you have zero control over how much work gets piled onto your desk. This, they say, leads to dangerously long hours and serious health risks, like burnout. They also argue that the whole consent thing is a total formality because of the intense pressure in the workplace. And without clear ways to measure things, results-based evaluations can be completely subjective and unfair. And listen, this isn't just talk. We've got official data from Japan's own Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare, and it consistently shows that folks under this system work longer hours than everybody else. In a country that literally has a word for death from overwork, karoshi, that is a seriously chilling statistic.
So, this brings us right to the heart of the fight today, the 2024 legal reforms. And the crazy thing is, both sides are looking at the exact same new rules and are coming to completely opposite conclusions.
Okay, let's take this new rule about worker consent. Supporters say it's a massive win. It gives employees the power to say yes, and even more importantly, the power to change their minds and say no later. But the critics? They pretty much say it's a joke. In a corporate culture where saying no to your boss is almost unthinkable, that consent form is just paper protection for the company.
And what about the new health and safety measures? Same story. Supporters praise them as a strong safety net, with things like recommended rest periods between shifts. But critics are quick to point out that these are just recommendations. They're not legally binding rules. And in a culture that pushes overwork, they say suggestions just aren't going to cut it.
So, this whole debate forces us to ask an even deeper question. Is the problem the system itself, or is it the corporate culture that it exists in?
I mean, what's the real villain here? Is this a fundamentally bad system, or is it a toxic work culture that's so powerful you can twist and abuse any system you throw at it?
At the end of the day, it really boils down to this. Proponents argue that the old model of paying for time is just broken. They see this new system as a powerful tool that's just being misused by old-school managers. The solution for them is better management, not getting rid of the system. But the opponents could not disagree more. They believe that until you fix the deep-rooted culture of overwork, this system is basically a loaded weapon. For them, the rule itself is the problem.
And so, that leaves us with this huge question, one that goes way, way beyond Japan.
In our modern world, where the lines between our work and our lives are getting blurrier every single day, what do we prioritize? Is it the freedom to choose how we work, or is it the protection from working way too much? That's a question we are all going to have to answer, probably sooner rather than later.